How many times have you followed your gut instinct and you found you were right? Our next guest believes that we all have untapped psychic abilities that can help us to get what we want out of life. Sherron Mayes is the author of Be Your Own Psychic. Sherron, lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Great idea for a book, Be Your Own Psychic, that we can, rule and kind of guide our own destinies. What do you mean by psychic? Is that like seeing into the future and telling fortunes?
Well, basically, it's about tapping into your finer instincts. So it's tapping into your sense of timing, wisdom, objectivity, having better judgment. And we all have these qualities. But because of stress in life and problems that we're thinking about, we actually just forget that it's there. So it's utilising that and accelerating it.
See, that's interesting, because I always think of psychic as something sort of spooky, something unexplained, paranormal, something out there. But you're saying it's within us.
Well, I think if you ask anyone, they'll tell you that they've had a dream or a hunch, a feeling about something, and they followed it up, or they've bumped into someone that shares the same ideas or can take them to another contact. And all of these things happen to us on a day-to-day basis, but we forget about them and we think it's just a fluke.
So are you saying maybe then it's just another name for intuition?
Yeah, it is another name for intuition, but it's tapping into your intuition so that you can actually make your life work for you in a practical way.
Therein lies the rub. How do you tap into it?
Well, one of the main ways of tapping into it is using your imagination. So if you think about your imagination, if you think of a hot chocolate fudge cake, or hot apple pie and custard, you're starting to think, yes, I really would like to have that, or you're focusing on anything in your life. You think about lying on a lovely sunny beach, you actually start to relax, so we know that imagination actually affects our emotion and our mind and makes us feel better. So you can use your imagination to raise your consciousness and to take you into really deep states.
It's a very good technique that people who maybe have panic attacks and phobias are taught to visualise and calm themselves down. There's a great line in your book which says, I wrote it down because I loved it, you actually have access to all the answers about anything you could want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big claim, but I mean, so you justify that?
Yeah, I believe that because I got into journalism by using my intuition, and I left school with no qualifications, and I did it by getting lots and lots of ideas, because creative inspiration comes from the same source as intuition, and lots of people don't realise that. So when you get lots of ideas and you actually suddenly discover, you think, yes, I must contact this person, or I must get in touch with these people, then that's how it all falls into place.
So, I mean, but how did that get you into journalism? I'm a terrible one for having to tie things down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I just had loads of ideas, and I'd suddenly get, an inspired thought to ring Woman's Journal or to ring Time Out, and I would do it and offer them the idea, and they'd say yes.
But, is there a danger of that also? The old proverb, being very Scottish here, look before you leap. I know that's not Scottish, but that's very much part of the psyche, isn't it? That perhaps could this encourage you to be too impulsive, to not think things through, just to jump on the first bandwagon that comes along?
It's not about being impulsive. It's about, I think, if you actually exercise your mind, and the exercises that I've given is a way of, you're de-stressing yourself, you're relaxing yourself, so you're tapping into listening to your inner voice. So it's not just acting rashly, it's about having a sense of judgment and timing, and you think, yes, this feels right. When you feel fired up about something and you do it, and yeah, okay, you may have a few accidents along the way, like when you learn a new skill and you might get it wrong, but I mean, that's how you learn, and that's...
I suppose there are things like, we say that someone has a good nose for business, someone else is a good judge of character.
Yeah.
Does that mean that these people, in your terms, are using those psychic abilities without realising that's what they are?
Yeah, absolutely. We all use them all the time. I mean, it's who we are. It's the voice of your spirit, if you like.
And is it a thing that children had, and then we lose as we grow up?
Yes, yeah, we all have it.
Because kids seem to know us. Kids seem to, get shy away from certain people and just respond automatically to others, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And the more you can encourage your children to be creative and to be confident in what they tell you. So if they're making, if they're having imaginative play, which is a great way of developing your higher mind, and they're talking to their little invisible friends, or, even if it's just make-believe, then you should encourage that.
So try and be as practical as you can, because the book is there, and it's called Be Your Own Psychic, and it's like an exercise, there's practices every day. What should people be doing, like, I don't know, when they go to bed at night or wake up in the morning?
Well, if they visualise themselves, for example, lying on a nice, warm, sandy beach, and if they make all their senses as real as possible, because your imagination affects your body and your mind, and then it take them into a deep, relaxed state. So feeling the warm sun, hearing the waves in the background, smelling the salty air, and then if they imagined themselves rising up out of their body, up into the sky and floating on a cloud, that actually takes your mind to a higher level. So you actually feel like you're away from all your problems and your negativity and your stresses.
And doing that, it's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah, it's exercising your mind, and when you do that, your mind is energy. It's releasing lots and lots of stress, and sometimes people feel slightly lightheaded in the way that you might do when you've had a massage or reflexology, because you're releasing stress.
Sherron, I'm finding it very tempting already, I have to say. Stick with us for a tick. We decided to test out Sherron's theory, and to do that we've lined up 3 eager volunteers who want to change something in their lives. And over the next 5 weeks, they're going to be using Sherron's tips to try and tune into their psychic talents and achieve their goal.
My dilemma really is meeting somebody new. I'm looking for, I suppose, a long-term relationship now, and being 30, I am actually looking to settle down a bit more. I'm just not psychic, I'm not spiritual at all, I'm not really religious either. I very much believe in the scientific approach to everything, that there is an answer and it's just cut and dried, that's the way things work. But I'm open-minded, I want to give it a go, see what happens really.
I decided to start up my own cleaning company. My dilemma at the moment is just finding the staff, because I am actually on my own doing it. I do believe that we all have instinct, intuition, and that there are times that we do not use it as well as we should do. I'd like to be able to get my first employee out there and doing a good job, and I hope it comes sooner rather than later.
My problem at the moment is that I've got to write a dissertation of 10,000 words, and I'm really losing concentration. I can't get myself to sit down and do it. My mum died last summer, and it was quite a shock because we'd only found out she was ill a few months before, and it's really made me reassess things and I guess spirituality and issues like that. What I'm hoping for from the book would be to be motivated, have some direction, and to get out of the garden behind my desk and to write something. That would be great.
All right, Sherron, there you go. That's your challenge. There they are, Adam and Angela and Talia. At least, I suppose, as a start, they all know what they want.
Yeah, and that's an important point, because you can't get what you want till you know what it is. So focusing your mind is really, really crucial before you actually start anything else. And that's one of the ways of actually setting out, you know, achieving whether you want the right job or the right relationship. Find out what it is you want first.
So would you be hopeful with these 3? I mean, Adam, I think, said that he's not really got any interest in sort of the psychic world or anything. He sees himself as a very kind of nuts and bolts guy.
Yeah.
He might be a challenge for you.
Well, I mean, I think if he follows the exercises, he could surprise himself. So
And what's the thing he has to do?
He needs to find that he wants to find the right woman. Whether that's what he needs or not is another thing.
And his technique that you would give him would be what?
Well, he needs to focus on exactly what he's looking for, whether they, you know, the same background, what kind of age he's looking for, the kind of looks he's looking for. All of those things, you know, are really important, because, you know, if you meet your ideal woman, he's I think quite, you know, he's 6'2". If he meets his ideal woman but she's 5'1" and he's got a thing about height, then that's not going to work for him. So he needs to look at all the specifics and also, you know, even sense of humour.
And Angela, who wants to run a cleaning company, she's got to visualise what?
Angie's got to visualise, you know, phones ringing off the hook, lots of clients. She needs
Cleaners
to think
bustling in and out.
unlimited. I think that the problem is that lots of us have negative beliefs about what we can achieve. So we need to actually take away all the limitations and think, yes, anything is possible.
But I take it you have to assume that it's wishing. They can all wish for what they want, but that's not enough. There's going to be some hard work underneath that.
Yes, they need to actually look at their beliefs. You know, the same with Talia. You know, she's got lots of things can affect us when somebody dies, and she's gone through a very traumatic time. So that can affect you in letting everything go to pot in your life if you're not careful. So you need to look at making sure that your beliefs are positive and that your mind is focused. So it's...
Well, listen, Sherron, I know that you've already started work with all 3 of them, and you've got some time to come up with some results. Thanks very much for coming today. We're going to see you in about 5 weeks' time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah, that's when we'll find out how Adam, Angie and Talia have got on.
And earlier on in the programme,